Deep Water by William O. Douglas. About the author: William O. Douglas. William O. Douglas, 1898 to 1980, born in Maine, Minnesota. Studied English and economics, later taught high school in Yakima, USA. Shifted to law after he got bored of teaching. Became close to Franklin D. Roosevelt, U.S. President, served as his advisor. Became a justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, served for 36 years, the longest in history. Strong advocate of individual rights and freedom. Deep Water is an excerpt from his autobiography of Men and Mountains. Narrates how he almost drowned as a boy, developed a lifelong fear of water, and how he finally conquered it. Background of the lesson. This chapter is not just a story. It's a journey from fear to freedom. Let's understand the setting before the actual events begin. The chapter is autobiographical, a real incident from Douglas's childhood. He lived in Yakima, where the Yakima River was dangerous and known for drownings. His mother warned him again and again to stay away from the river. To learn swimming safely, he chose the YMCA swimming pool, shallow on one side, 9 feet deep on the other. He carried an early fear of water, caused by an incident at age 3 to 4 when waves knocked him down at a beach in California. The lesson explores how this fear grew, how one traumatic incident nearly killed him, and how he ultimately overcame the fear through courage and training. Central idea: fear itself is the real enemy. Douglas decides to learn swimming. At the start of the chapter, Douglas takes us into one of the most memorable experiences of his childhood, when he was about 10 or 11 years old and decided to learn swimming. He wanted to learn because the Yakima River near his home was dangerous and known for drownings. His mother repeatedly warned him not to go near the river. The YMCA pool felt much safer. Shallow end, 2 to 3 feet. Deep end, 9 feet, but with a gradual slope. He bought a pair of water wings and went to the pool with the intention of learning properly. He felt shy about exposing his skinny legs, but he overcame the hesitation and stepped into the water. Insight. This introduction highlights both his determination to learn and the quiet undercurrent of fear shaped by his mother's constant warnings. His early fear of water and childhood incident. Douglas explains that his fear of water didn't begin at the YMCA pool, it had been shaping inside him since early childhood. When he was 3 or 4 years old, he visited a beach in California with his father. A strong wave knocked him down and buried him underwater. He felt breathless, helpless, and terrified, even though his father laughed, thinking it was harmless fun. That shock left a long-lasting fear within him. Anytime he stood near water afterward, he remembered the force of the wave, the panic, and the suffocating feeling. Insight. This incident shows how a single early experience can leave a deep emotional imprint, and how past trauma can resurface later as fear. Gaining confidence. Until the misadventure. Even though the childhood fear still lingered, Douglas worked hard to learn swimming and slowly began feeling more settled in the water. He practiced with water wings, copying the strokes of older boys. After a few visits, he began to feel comfortable and confident. One day, he reached the pool early when it was empty, calm water, a quiet atmosphere. Feeling slightly uneasy about being alone, he sat at the edge of the pool to wait for others. Suddenly, an older, heavily built boy, around 18, walked in. He shouted jokingly, "Hi, skinny. How'd you like to be ducked?" Without warning, he picked Douglas up and threw him into the deep end. This is this misadventure that triggers the near-drowning experience. Insight. This moment marks a dramatic turning point where a careless act transforms into a life-threatening situation, showing how fear can strike suddenly and unexpectedly. Sinking to the bottom, the first attempt to survive. Thrown suddenly into 9 feet of water, Douglas sinks fast, but still holds on to the hope that he can save himself. He lands in a sitting position, swallows water, and continues sinking straight to the bottom. Though frightened, he hasn't completely lost control. While sinking, he quickly forms a clear plan. Wait until his feet touch the bottom. Push upward with all his strength. Rise to the surface like a cork. Lie flat and paddle to the edge. The descent feels painfully long, the 9 feet seem more like 90. His lungs are about to burst by the time his feet hit the tiles. He pushes upward with every bit of strength he has. Insight. This moment highlights his presence of mind. Even while sinking in panic, he tries to think logically and rely on what he has seen other swimmers do. Panic takes over, failure of the first attempt. Douglas expects to rise quickly after pushing off the bottom, but he comes up slowly and weakly. When he opens his eyes, he sees only dirty yellow water, which increases his fear. His hands reach upward as if trying to grab something, but there is nothing but water. His mouth does not break the surface, so he cannot breathe. He begins to flail, choke, and swallow water. His legs feel like dead weights, stiff, rigid, and completely unresponsive. A powerful force seems to be pulling him downward once again. Insight. This stage shows how quickly fear can overwhelm the body, making even simple movements impossible and turning a plan into panic. Sinking again, the second descent into terror. Douglas starts sinking for the second time, more terrified than before. His lungs ache, his head throbs, and he feels dizzy and exhausted. Despite the growing panic, he still remembers his earlier strategy: push off the bottom once he reaches it. When his feet touch the tiles, he tries to jump upward again, but the effort makes no difference. All around him is still the same yellow, suffocating water. Stark terror grips him. His arms and legs refuse to move. His body becomes stiff and frozen. Even the screams in his throat remain trapped. He tries to cry out for help, even calling for his mother in his mind, but no sound escapes. Insight. This part shows how fear can completely shut down the body and mind, turning every instinct for survival into helplessness. The third descent, terror turns to silence. Douglas sinks for the third time, completely exhausted and unable to fight the water anymore. He tries desperately to breathe but sucks in water instead of air. The yellow glow of the water begins to fade, and everything around him grows dim. His limbs turn limp, even his legs, which earlier felt rigid, now stop responding completely. The intense panic suddenly melts away, replaced by a strange calmness. He feels himself drifting gently, almost as if being carried by soft, motherly arms. He becomes drowsy, floats into a peaceful darkness, and slowly slips into unconsciousness. He describes this moment as crossing into oblivion, saying that the curtain of life fell. Insight. This stage reveals how the body shuts down when overwhelmed. Terror gives way to an eerie sense of peace, showing just how close he was to death. Rescue and immediate aftermath. After slipping into unconsciousness, the next thing Douglas remembers is waking up beside the pool, lying on his stomach. He is vomiting water, showing how much he had swallowed during the struggle. The older boy who threw him in nervously says, "But I was only fooling." Another person nearby responds, "The kid nearly died." They carry him to the locker room to recover. Even after reaching home, his body shakes continuously. He cries while lying in bed, feels extremely weak, and cannot eat dinner. For days afterward, he is haunted by the experience. Even slight physical effort makes him feel wobbly and sick, showing the depth of the trauma. Insight. This part shows how a near-death experience affects both the body and the mind, leaving behind physical weakness and emotional shock long after the incident. The long-lasting fear of water. After the incident, Douglas completely avoids the YMCA pool. He never returns. A powerful fear of water settles inside him, affecting his life for years. Whenever he enters or even approaches water, the same terror returns. His legs freeze. His heart turns icy. And he feels paralyzed. This fear ruins activities he once enjoyed, especially in the outdoors. Canoeing on lakes in Maine. Bass fishing in New Hampshire. Trout fishing in Oregon. Salmon fishing in the Columbia River. Wading in rivers like the Tieton and Bumping River. Water becomes a reminder of danger instead of enjoyment. He realizes this fear is stopping him from fully experiencing nature. Insight. This section highlights how deeply trauma can embed itself, shaping someone's life, choices, and hobbies long after the original event. Deciding to overcome the fear. The fear of water stays with Douglas for years, affecting every outdoor activity he enjoys. Whether he is wading in rivers, fishing in lakes, or boating in canoe trips, the same terror instantly returns. The fear becomes a constant handicap, blocking his enjoyment of nature. He tries to overcome it on his own using different methods, but the fear refuses to loosen its grip. Finally, one October, he makes a firm decision: he will no longer let fear control him. He decides to hire a professional instructor and learn how to swim properly. This choice marks the true turning point in his journey toward courage and freedom. Insight. This demonstrates how resolution and commitment are the first steps toward conquering any deep, long-held fear. Beginning training with the swimming instructor. Douglas goes to a pool and begins daily training, practicing 5 days a week, 1 hour each day. The instructor uses a belt and pulley system. A belt is strapped around Douglas's chest. A rope from the belt passes through an overhead pulley. The instructor holds the rope to control his movement and ensure safety. Douglas moves back and forth across the pool, again and again, hour after hour, day after day. Each time the instructor loosens his hold, Douglas feels a slight panic and his legs freeze. The old terror tries to return every time his head goes underwater. This continues for 3 months before Douglas begins to relax enough to feel slightly comfortable. Insight. This stage shows that progress against fear is steady but slow. Repetition builds confidence, while consistency weakens panic. Learning to breathe and kick properly. After Douglas starts relaxing a bit, the instructor introduces breathing techniques. Put the face underwater and exhale. Lift the nose above water and inhale. Douglas practices this hundreds of times, slowly reducing his panic about submerging his head. The next step is learning to kick the legs properly. The instructor holds Douglas at the side of the pool while he practices kicking for several weeks. In the beginning, his legs feel stiff, rigid, and unresponsive, echoes of old fear. Gradually, his legs begin to loosen and obey, responding naturally and rhythmically. These two skills, breathing and kicking, become the foundation for the complete swimming stroke. Insight. This part shows how confidence grows from mastering small, fundamental actions. Each skill removes one layer of fear. Becoming a complete swimmer. After Douglas masters breathing and kicking, the instructor begins combining all the skills into a full swimming stroke. Piece by piece, he adds arm movements, body coordination, breathing rhythm, and leg kicking. Over time, these separate parts come together into an integrated, smooth stroke. One April day, the instructor finally tells him, "Now you can swim. Dive off and swim the length of the pool, crawl stroke." Douglas dives in and successfully swims the entire length of the pool. The instructor considers his job done, but Douglas still feels uncertain deep inside. A lingering doubt remains: what if the terror returns when I am alone? Insight. Technical mastery is not the same as emotional freedom. Overcoming fear requires confidence in one's own mind, not just physical ability. testing himself alone in the pool. Determined to find out if he is truly free of fear, Douglas enters the pool alone. He swims the length of the pool up and down repeatedly, testing his reactions. Small traces of the old terror return, tiny flashes of panic. But now, he is strong enough to challenge the fear directly. He confronts it mentally, almost talking to it, trying to scare me, eh? Well, here's to you. Each time he swims, the fear shrinks a little more. He continues this self-testing routine until July, ensuring that the panic loses its grip completely. Insight. Testing oneself without support is the true measure of progress. Real courage is proven when one faces fear independently. Lake Wentworth, the bigger challenge. Even after months of practice in the pool, Douglas still has lingering doubts. To challenge himself in a natural environment, he goes to Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire. From Triggs Island, he dives into the lake and swims 2 miles to Stampact Island. He uses multiple strokes: crawl stroke, breaststroke, side stroke, and backstroke. During the swim, fear returns once, when he looks down and sees only dark, bottomless water. Instead of panicking, he laughs at the fear, proving he now controls the situation. He continues swimming confidently and completes the long-distance test successfully. Insight. Putting oneself in a bigger, more challenging environment proves whether the fear is truly defeated, confirming real inner strength. The final test at Warm Lake. Although Lake Wentworth boosts his confidence, Douglas still wants total certainty that the fear is gone forever. He travels west to the Titan, hikes to Conrad Meadows, and continues up the Conrad Creek Trail to reach Meade Glacier. He camps in a high meadow beside Warm Lake, surrounded by mountains and still waters. The next morning, he strips, dives into Warm Lake, and swims across to the opposite shore and back, just as he had seen his friend Doug Corpron do. This time, no fear returns at all, not even a trace of the old panic. As he finishes the swim, he shouts with pure joy, and Gilbert Peak echoes it back. He knows, without doubt, that he has finally conquered his fear completely. Insight. The final test shows that true freedom from fear comes only when one challenges it fully and confirms its absence in real-world conditions. Feeling released and free. Conquering his lifelong fear fills Douglas with a powerful sense of freedom and renewal. He feels released, free to walk the trails and climb the peaks, without the shadow of fear following him. The fear that once limited his life dissolves completely, opening up new possibilities and confidence. His successful journey from terror to triumph strengthens his will to live. Fear no longer controls him, instead, he feels capable of facing challenges with resilience and courage. Insight. Overcoming a deep fear does not just remove a barrier, it transforms a person's entire outlook on life, replacing anxiety with confidence. The larger meaning. All we have to fear is fear itself. Douglas ends the chapter with a powerful reflection on the nature of fear. He realizes that it was never the water itself that terrified him, it was the fear of the water. He understands that fear of death is far more terrifying than death itself. Overcoming the fear restores his sense of purpose and intensifies his will to live fully. He quotes Franklin D. Roosevelt, "All we have to fear is fear itself." This becomes the central message: fear is the real enemy, because it weakens, limits, and controls a person. Insight. The chapter ends on a universal truth: once fear is defeated in the mind, everything else becomes possible. Most important themes of the lesson: deep water. Theme 1. Conquering fear through courage and willpower. The central idea of the lesson is that fear can control your life, but with patience and determination, you can defeat it. Douglas shows that fear disappears only when you face it directly. Examples from the lesson. He carries the fear of water since age 3 to 4, after the wave knocks him down at the beach. The terror becomes permanent after the YMCA drowning incident. Years later, he decides he will not let this fear control him anymore and hires an instructor, practicing day after day. He even challenges himself in Lake Wentworth and Warm Lake, proving to himself that the fear is gone. Insight. This theme teaches that courage does not mean the absence of fear, it means taking action even when fear overwhelms you. Theme 2. The lasting impact of childhood trauma. A frightening experience in childhood can shape your feelings, reactions, and behavior for many years. Douglas helps readers understand how deeply trauma can take root. Examples from the lesson. At age 3 to 4, the incident with the giant wave at the California beach plants the first seed of terror. At the YMCA pool, the moment he sees the yellow water closing in reminds him of that childhood memory. Even after growing up, the fear returns whenever he enters a river, lake, or pool. His legs freeze, his heart pounds, showing how trauma can trigger physical reactions. Insight. This theme reminds that early experiences, good or bad, shape emotional responses later in life. Theme 3. Persistence, discipline, and step-by-step progress. Overcoming fear isn't instant. It requires patience, practice, and breaking the problem into smaller steps, exactly what the instructor does with Douglas. Examples from the lesson. The instructor trains him piece by piece. First using the belt and pulley. Then teaching breathing. Then kicking. Then coordinating strokes. Douglas practices hundreds of times, slowly relaxing his stiff legs. He returns to the pool alone and swims repeatedly until only the tiny vestiges of the old terror remain. Insight. This theme shows that big goals are achieved by mastering small skills and repeating them until confidence grows. Theme 4. The psychology of fear. The chapter shows fear as something that grows inside the mind, not just from physical danger. Douglas makes fear feel like a living force that tightens its grip. Examples from the lesson. He describes terror as stark, uncontrolled, paralyzing. His legs feel like dead weights, showing fear's effect on the body. Even when he resurfaces briefly, only his eyes and nose emerge, fear prevents him from acting rationally. After the incident, even the slightest exertion makes him sick. Insight. This theme helps understand that fear begins in the mind, and conquering it gives freedom in both body and thought. Theme 5. Self-discovery and inner strength. Through overcoming fear, Douglas discovers his own inner power. The journey becomes not just physical survival, but emotional transformation. Examples from the lesson. When the terror returns in Lake Wentworth, he laughs at it, showing complete control over his mind. After swimming in Warm Lake, he shouts with joy, feeling reborn. He realizes he can now walk the trails and climb the peaks without fear. Insight. This theme shows that defeating fear leads to deeper confidence, not just in water, but in life as a whole. Theme 6. All we have to fear is fear itself. The final message of the chapter is the same line quoted by Franklin D. Roosevelt: fear is more dangerous than the danger itself. Examples from the lesson. When drowning, Douglas stops feeling pain or panic, showing that the fear of dying is worse than death itself. He realizes that fear had robbed him of years of enjoying nature, swimming, boating, and fishing. After conquering it, he feels an intense will to live, stronger than ever before. Insight. This theme gives the philosophical depth. When we defeat fear, we gain control over our entire life. Character sketch of William O. Douglas. William Douglas emerges as a sensitive, determined, reflective, and courageous individual whose journey from childhood fear to complete triumph reveals multiple dimensions of his personality. Next is a complete character sketch with textual evidence from the lesson. 1. Sensitive and emotionally aware. Douglas is deeply affected by experiences and emotions. Unlike others who may shrug off fear, he feels it intensely and remembers it vividly. Examples from the lesson. At age 3 to 4, when a wave knocks him down at the beach, he feels terror in my heart at the overpowering force of the waves. Even after the YMCA incident, the slightest exertion upset me, showing his emotional sensitivity. What it reveals: he is not numb or indifferent, he experiences life deeply, which makes his later victory even more meaningful. 2. Honest and self-reflective. Douglas openly describes his fears without hiding anything. He analyzes his own reactions, thoughts, and emotions with clarity. Examples from the lesson. He admits that he'd had an aversion to water even before the incident. He narrates the drowning experience with raw honesty, the yellow water, stiff legs, frozen screams, and the sensation of slipping into oblivion. He reflects on the psychological meaning of fear. In death there is peace. There is terror only in the fear of death. What it reveals: he is introspective and truthful about his vulnerabilities, a sign of emotional maturity. 3. Determined and strong-willed. Even though fear haunts him for years, he never resigns himself to living with it. His decision to fight it shows tremendous willpower. Examples from the lesson. He tries multiple times to enter rivers and lakes despite the terror. Finally, he decides firmly, I decided to get an instructor and learn to swim. He practices 5 days a week, regardless of panic. What it reveals: he does not run from fear, he confronts it with commitment. His willpower drives him forward. 4. Patient and hardworking. Douglas understands that overcoming fear is a long process. He gives himself time and works systematically. Examples from the lesson. He trains for months, starting with basic breathing and kicking exercises. He repeats breathing practice hundreds of times. He accepts the instructor's step-by-step method without complaining. What it reveals: he is disciplined and willing to put in effort day after day. 5. Courageous in the true sense. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is moving forward despite fear. Douglas embodies this idea completely. Examples from the lesson. He swims alone to check if the fear still exists. He challenges himself to swim 2 miles across Lake Wentworth. Even when fear returns mid-lake, he laughs at it and continues. At Warm Lake, he dives in confidently, knowing this is the final test. What it reveals: he transforms fear into strength, the mark of true courage. 6. Observant and detail-oriented. His vivid descriptions show a sharp eye for detail and the ability to turn personal experience into powerful writing. Examples from the lesson. Describes the water as the dirty yellow, the tiled bottom, the mass of yellow water, the frozen screams, the throbbing head. His writing allows readers to feel every moment of fear and struggle. What it reveals: he is a skilled observer and a natural storyteller. 7. Insightful and philosophical. Douglas does not stop at simply narrating events, he interprets them. He draws a deeper meaning from his experience. Examples from the lesson. Reflects on fear and says, the experience had a deep meaning for me. Quotes Roosevelt, all we have to fear is fear itself. Understands that fear of death is more frightening than death itself. What it reveals: he thinks beyond the moment, connecting his personal story to universal life lessons. 8. Victorious and empowered. In the end, Douglas wins not just over water, but over something much larger, his inner fear. Examples from the lesson. After swimming Warm Lake, he feels released, free to walk the trails and climb the peaks and to brush aside fear. What it reveals: he emerges stronger, freer, and more alive, a man who has reclaimed his life. Summary of his character. William Douglas is sensitive yet courageous, fearful yet determined, patient, hardworking, and disciplined, a sharp observer, honest storyteller, and deep thinker. A man who proves that willpower is stronger than fear. His journey from terror to triumph makes him a powerful symbol of resilience. Message of the lesson: deep water. Fear paralyzes, courage liberates. Fear can freeze the body and mind, preventing even basic movement. During the drowning incident, Douglas's legs became rigid, paralyzed, showing how fear shuts down the body. He could not shout, breathe, or think clearly. Panic took total control. But once he began facing the fear through training, he felt lighter, freer. After defeating the fear completely, he says he felt released, free to walk the trails and climb the peaks. Insight: this shows that fear traps us, but courage opens up life again. Slow, step-by-step progress works. Courage is not built overnight. The instructor teaches Douglas in small pieces. Breathing, kicking arm movement, full stroke. Each step reduces panic a little more. After months of daily practice, the pieces finally come together. The lesson proves that steady, patient effort leads to lasting confidence. Insight: gradual progress is the key to overcoming big challenges. Facing fear is more important than avoiding it. Douglas avoided water for years, but the fear only grew stronger. Avoidance made him anxious, shaky, and physically sick around water. Only when he chose to face the fear directly did the healing begin. Swimming daily, testing himself alone, and challenging big lakes all helped him reclaim power. True courage comes from confrontation, not escape. Insight: the story shows that fear shrinks only when you look it in the eye. Triumph over fear changes one's entire outlook on life. Once Douglas conquered his fear, his entire personality changed. He felt renewed confidence, joy, and freedom. He could finally enjoy lakes, rivers, mountains, and outdoor adventures. He even experiences a deeper will to live, stronger than ever before. Overcoming fear doesn't just solve one problem, it transforms life. Insight: the victory over fear expands a person's world, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Core messages of deep water. Fear paralyzes, courage liberates. Fear froze Douglas's body and mind during the drowning incident. Courage, gained through training and persistence, eventually freed him completely. Slow, step-by-step progress works. The instructor built a swimmer, piece by piece, breathing, kicking, strokes, and confidence. Small, daily effort turned fear into mastery. Facing fear is more important than avoiding it. Avoiding water made the fear stronger over time. Only when Douglas faced the fear directly did it begin to disappear. Triumph over fear changes one's entire outlook on life. After conquering water, Douglas felt released, free to walk the trails and climb the peaks. His victory gave him a deeper will to live and a renewed love for life. Conclusion: the journey from fear to freedom. Deep water is more than a drowning story, it is a lesson in courage, perseverance, and self-discovery. William Douglas takes us through his entire emotional journey: early childhood fear, near-death trauma, years of phobia, and slow, determined training. His transformation shows that fear is powerful, but human will is stronger. Step by step, he rebuilds confidence and learns to trust himself again. When he finally swims across lakes alone, he realizes he has conquered not just water, but his own mind. The message is universal: all we have to fear is fear itself. The chapter inspires readers to face their fears honestly, patiently, and with courage. In the end, Douglas proves that when we defeat fear, we gain not just freedom in the water, we gain freedom in life. Remember, everyone feels fear. But with patience and courage, you can overcome anything. Just like William Douglas did. If this explanation helped you understand deep water, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe for more easy chapter explanations. Stay consistent, stay curious, and keep pushing your limits, just as Douglas did in his journey from fear to freedom.